Hello everybody, my name is Ryan or MandRproductions, and welcome to my review of the LEGO Star Wars 7153 Jango Fett's Slave 1. This set was released in 2002 along with Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. It included two minifigures, being young Boba Fett and Jango Fett, had 360 pieces and retailed for $50 US. If you're trying to buy this today, you can get it used for around $70 to $100 with the minifigs, and brand new in the box for somewhere around $150. It also came in a variation that had a bonus carrying cargo case, so if you guys are looking for that, you'd have to pay a little bit more. This was the second ever Slave 1 model by LEGO, the first one of course being Boba Fett's Slave 1 from the original trilogy, and we know that was a very small and outdated model. This was the next step up in the linear progression of the Slave 1s getting better and better, and this is a pretty good step towards what we have today as far as Slave 1s go. It's a very cool set. It's got a great color scheme. It's got a lot of sand green parts, which is nice as those are rare, and it's just got a great look to it, of course, compared to the original Slave 1 at the time, and this being a brand new design. The two minifigures being Jango Fett and Boba Fett, which we'll take a look at momentarily. And for $50, it was a little bit on the pricey side for around 360 pieces, so the price per piece wasn't the best, but it still looks really cool, and it has a lot of big pieces. That's kind of the part of the reason why it's such a high price per piece, is that a lot of these parts are bigger pieces. Just full bricks in there. This part, especially this window piece, was new at the time, I think, and it was probably very expensive to make. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the really cool and rare and expensive minifigures. 2002 Jango Fett. This is a pretty awesome minifigure. It's one of the rarer Star Wars minifigures. And of course, we did get a new version of Jango Fett with the 2013 Corporate Alliance tank droid, but it's nothing near the same. There's just something special about this one that has helped it retain its value over the years for whatever reason, and it's very cool. It's got the all-in-one jetpack helmet headpiece, so you can pull that off, and it's all-in-one. It's got a pretty nice print on there, kind of like an antenna up there as well. And then the only complaint I really have with this minifigure is that the coloring of the blue color doesn't really match the print on the helmet. You can tell it's very different. It's a darker bluish purple on his body and a much brighter blue, and even the dark blue on his helmet isn't really quite the same as the one on the body, which I just don't like. They did fix that with the 2013 version, but again, that was 11 years later. He does use the old dark gray color for his torso piece, but still a nice print on there as well. No leg printing, no arm printing. Here's another look at that jetpack mold. Around back, he does have a face, so if you want to, you can flip that around. And he does have a face, so that's kind of cool. This was a pretty weird looking face to me, just because it's printed on black and it's yellow. It just doesn't really look that great, but you can put hair on him and he looks semi-okay. It's not really that great actually, but I prefer to leave him with the helmet on and the head turned around. I just think it looks a lot better that way. Other than, I mean, I just think that the face, because it's yellow on black, the printing just doesn't look all that great on it. It's just better off like this. It's a much cooler looking figure this way. And he also comes with two Lego blasters, so very, very nice there to emulate his kind of laser guns from Star Wars. They kind of look more like revolvers from Indiana Jones, which is probably what they were meant to be. I don't know. But they're more of a Western type looking gun to me, but they still kind of fit the purpose. It's cool for him to have guns, so very nice. The other minifigure we receive in this set is a young Boba Fett. Very, very cool. He's got a blue color scheme to him, so not quite the same green color scheme that you see on the older Boba Fett, of course, with all the armor and stuff. So he's got like his blue cadet outfit basically on. He's got some very nice hair. Kind of the same. It's the same hairpiece as the 2005 Anakin Skywalker hairpiece. It's just black. And of course, it's going to be only a single-sided face because this is 2002, and they didn't really do that back then. The face is kind of cool. It's a unique face. It looks pretty cool. The torso print is very nice as well, and then he has small legs. So a pretty nice minifigure all in all. The first ever small Boba Fett right here, or young Boba Fett. I don't want to say small, but yeah, let's go ahead and move on to Jango Fett's Slave 1. Alright, and having seen the minifigures, we know they are very cool. Now let's see what they can do to interact with the set. You can, of course, open up the cockpit on the top and reveal a seating area. You can put Jango and Boba Fett in there, and we'll go ahead and do that for you right now. Jango Fett fits in nicely, and you can have Boba Fett stand in right behind him. There is just enough space for that. Also on the inside, we have these very nice printed control panels. I really, really love these. I think they look amazing. And then you have these tiles up here in front of Jango Fett, which look pretty cool too, but they have been around for a while now. But these never really saw a comeback. They're just kind of unique to this set, which is really cool. And I believe they are printed, so they definitely look really awesome, and they fit really nicely there. Although they're kind of far back, so he can't really use them, you know what I mean? They're kind of out of the way, but they still look really cool. There's these printed pieces up here too that have a nice effect as well, so I definitely like seeing these extra printed pieces up here. Kind of something that you wouldn't see on a modern day Lego set, but you definitely like to see on these older Lego sets. It's very cool and different compared to what we get nowadays with stickers, so you get a really cool print on this piece and these control panels in here with Jango Fett. Now, the next feature, of course, is going to be that this can rotate, and it rotates very simply. It has a stop, so it's not going to go any farther forward than this, so when you're in a landed position like so. But when you bring the ship up and turn it, these can come down. You do have to manually do it because it doesn't seem to have an ability to pull itself down. It's not as free moving as some of the newer models, but it's very simple. It's not a lot of friction. You just kind of push it down, and down they go. You can see like that. They go right down into position, and then as you land it, you can bring it back and put it back down like so. Very easy. And just because, we'll put on the cockpit piece. Very nice cockpit piece there. They'd used it for quite some time now on Jango Fett's or Boba Fett's newer Slave ones from 2006 and 2010. And the next feature we're going to take a look at is down here with the cargo area. There's some bombs down in here. And here's a better look at that compartment with the orange minifigure heads inside. We'll go ahead and close this up and we'll put it to use. Alright, and to release the orange minifigure head bombs, all you have to do is lift up the ship and hold it backwards like this and drop. So they're really supposed to come out kind of like they did in the movie, if you know what I'm talking about, in the asteroid field when he was chasing Obi-Wan's starfighter. And they're supposed to come straight out the back as you're flying, so they're not really supposed to be like bombs that drop. They're I can't remember the name of them, but they come out the back and they blow up. So they're supposed to go out like this and then go boom. So that's how they're supposed to work. Of course, they can't really fly out the back because of physics, but they do work if you point the ship towards the ground, so you can still play with it that way, which is pretty cool, and we'll put these back in here. Also up in there, you'll notice that there are some missiles. This isn't quite the best build for these, but you can open up this patch, or hatch here, or panel, and you can open up this, and you can shoot missiles, essentially. That's what those are supposed to represent. And same on the other side. These just become a little bit flimsy. Not the best design for this, but it works nonetheless. It's just a little bit flimsy most of the time, which is unfortunate, but you can have them shoot out like boom, boom, or you can take them off, and of course, to put them back, you just fold it in and push it back in, and then up with the panel. In this top compartment, you can open up the left and the right, of course, and you'll notice there's a little blue thing here. I think that's like a hyperdrive or something, I'm not quite sure, but it's just a cool little extra design that you have there. And then you have some extra missile pieces, kind of little extra thing for show that you can pull out and use to chase around Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter, which kind of went with this set if you bought both at the same time back in 2002. So those kind of played well if you had both. And then in this compartment here, this little hatch, you can put Jango's little guns, and I have those here to place inside. Here's those little pistols, very cool. Revolvers. They look like revolvers, but they really make a different sound than a revolver. So yeah, those fit right in there, no problem. They're not going to be coming out, even if you have the ship on its side. It kind of locks in place, which is nice. And then the guns here on top, or in the front of the ship, they're on a different mechanism than some of the newer Jango Fett's Slave ones, or the Slave ones in general, not Jango Fett's, but this is the only version of Jango Fett's. These are on kind of a fixed path, if you'd say that, like on a clock, like tick, tick, tick type thing. They're not on a loose-fitting spinning thing, so they don't really spin with the ship as you move it, which is good. They're supposed to really stay in place as you see fit, and they move independently of each other, which I think they should move together, you know? I don't think they should be independent, but nonetheless, the mechanism works really nicely. You can see it goes 360 degrees almost. It gets stopped by that piece down there. So you get really close to 360-degree movement. You don't really need to point them back at all. The only complaint I have is what just happened right there is that they often fall off if you're moving them around too much because there's nothing holding this down to this other than just the bricks themselves, which isn't really enough of a connection there for that. And there's this nice little detail piece on front along with this yellow inverted slope, of course, as well. Moving around to the back, you'll notice a couple of stickers on those blue parts there. They're just kind of there for added detail to give more of a movie-accurate look to the set. Well, upon further inspection, those are printed. Those are definitely printed. They are not stickers, as you can tell. I'm trying to do anything I can. They're definitely printed on there. That is so cool to see the way that LEGO has changed. Those would definitely be stickers on a newer Slave 1, but back in 2002, that is a printed piece. Very cool, a very nice surprise to see on this set. Unlike these guns on the front, the wings do not move independently of each other. Put my hand here so you know I'm not moving the other one. So it's just one whole connection through the whole thing, which is kind of what I want up here. That's kind of what I'm trying to illustrate there. The design is pretty nice. It seems a little bit lacking. There's not a lot of detail to it. I know with the UCS one and the newer Slave 1 models of Boba Fett Slave 1, this is a lot more detailed, but for 2002 I think it's good enough. It definitely gets the job done. It's just not as detailed as you'd see on any modern sets, but this is kind of something that bridged the gap between the original Slave 1 we have and the Slave 1s we have today. It's a very nice design. One more thing I want to show you is on the underneath side, which I was really surprised by. The interior of this is quite odd to me, and I don't know if you guys know what this piece is for, if it's just there to give it added weight, or if it's there to be a stop. Like, the only thing I can think that it does is it stops this from going any farther. You guys can see it down there. There's a big cube. So there's a big cube on the inside here, and it's held in by a magnet, so it moves a little bit, but it doesn't really do anything as far as I can tell. What it must be is some type of cargo carrying thing that you can drop out and put cargo into and then reattach on the inside of the Slave 1. So, you know, you come down, you drop your cargo, and you can put whatever you want in here and then fly off with it. So let's say we put Jango Fett's hair in there, and then you can put it back up underneath the ship, and it's stored there for however long you want until you want to pull it out and take it back out again. So I guess that's what it's really for. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense on a set like this, but I guess it is a nice feature if you're trying to get more playability out of a set without much to begin with. Now, the engine detailing on the back is pretty nice. It's nothing too special. It's really just a couple of orange, transparent, inverted tiles. I mean, that's really all it is. But it still looks pretty nice, and they have this radar dish on the back too to give it a little bit more than it would have otherwise, although I would have liked to see more orange back there, a little bit more detail. But with that being said, guys, I hope you did enjoy this review. If you did, please smack that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.